Hello and welcome to another Moaning Show. This is episode number
69, dudes!
And welcome to another edition all about Disney live action remake movies. Now, strange enough subject you might think to moan about. But as you've heard in the last few Moaning Shows, I've been kind of postponing this one, not believing it's that strong of a subject to moan, bitch and complain about. But I've now taken the plunge and decided to moan about it because, well, question one this week, what don't I like about these movies? Kind of obvious, really. They're taking beloved source material. We're talking things like Jungle Book, Peter Pan, stuff like that. Aristocats, all of the movies we grew up watching in these magnificent song-filled, bits and bobs. And they're putting these beloved characters that not necessarily they've created, but they've made up to be their sort of mascots, so to speak, in these movies. Things like Dumbo. It's just they're making these movies different to the source material. Quite frankly, all right, yeah, that's what they should be doing. But one of the worst things about these remakes are they're having to find actors and actresses that look like the cartoon counterparts, that sound like them. And sometimes there's just no way. A good example of this is the recent DVD release of the Aladdin remake. Now, Aladdin is one of my favourite Disney films. The songs in it are magnificent. Robin Williams as the fucking genie is just absolutely magnificent. His performance, I do believe, most of it was ad-libbed, and they just had to animate around what he was doing, specifically the bit at the start where he says, can we call you Al? I just didn't. Or how about Laddie? And he turns into a fucking Scottish dog. And that was just Robin Williams being crazy. But they animated that to what he did. Now, sadly, Robin Williams is no longer with us, the comic genius that he was. It's now Will Smith. And I have not seen the film, but I have been told that Will Smith, an actor and singer, doesn't sing the songs that he sings. Will Smith, who has had #1 records, doesn't sing during the fucking movie when the genie sings. He is the genie in the remake. He doesn't fucking sing. He mimes and somebody else fucking sings. What the fuck is that? But they're also taking characters like Dumbo, for example. There's another one. And they're changing the movie completely. It's not about the elephant. It's about a family that goes to the fucking circus. What the fuck? You're changing the story to suit what you can do. Yes, all right. You're not going to be able to get a massive-eared fucking African elephant to fly and all that sort of shit. But they had more focus on the ringmaster. They had even more unnecessary focus on the family. The story of Dumbo is about a poor little baby African elephant who gets prejudice against him and has to put up with all sorts of shit from his mother's so-called friends teasing him because he's got big ears. He has to put up with the shit about the fact that because his mother's been locked up in a sort of like prison type establishment because she attacked a boy for making fun of her son. It's about a son missing his mother. I can relate to that. I fucking miss my mum something chronic. But as for this new one, it's about the fucking family, for Christ's sake. And one of the worst things as well is the Beauty and the Beast remake, starring Emma Watson yeah, is practically a word-for-word remake. Muggins here had to go to the pictures to see that one at work. All right, not a bad job if you think about it. But at the same time, Beauty and the Beast was one of my dad's favourites Disney movies, animated versions. And from what I remember, there might have been a song added to the live action remake. Now, in all honesty, with looks and things like that, they did a fairly good job. Question 2 this week is Disney so-called own these films. Why shouldn't they release them as remakes for a newer audience? If you're going to mess with the so-called classic source material, then what you basically need to do, you need to remain as faithful as you possibly can to this source material. Not a word-for-word remake like Beauty and the Beast, and not a complete change like Dumbo. But try and find some sort of middle ground, or don't bother. Can you imagine if they remade Snow White using the exact same story? We all know the story of Snow White, obviously, but it was Disney's first animated film, full length, feature length, longer than an hour. But what they're doing now is they're shitting on their so-called legacy. They're making sure that, yes, they've got movies coming out, but what the fuck are they doing with these so-called movies? The Little Mermaid remake that's coming out next year, I do believe. Now, I've got no problems with them releasing a Little Mermaid remake, but we all grew up with the sight of Ariel the mermaid flashing her hair back on the rocks when she dived up to take a look at the bloke she fancied. I can't remember. Little Mermaid's not one of my favourites, but anyway, she had flame red hair. We're talking red. We're talking this red, okay? And being a redhead, she had white porcelain skin, okay? In the Little Mermaid remake, all right, you can cast whoever you want as these characters in live action, bits and bobs. This could be controversial, what I'm just about to say, but in my opinion, Ariel should be a flame red hair, white porcelain, almost model, so to speak, cast as Ariel. The woman cast as Ariel, I don't know her name. She is of colour. In other words, she's black. Or slightly black, let's just say. She has blondish, brownish, long frizzy hair. Ariel had straight hair for a fucking start. And obviously it was red. Now, again, she might pull off a fantastic performance. But the thing is, in The Little Mermaid, if you are familiar with that film, Ariel spends about half the movie unable to speak. Not much acting required there. That's basically what she's got to do. This isn't me being prejudiced against, blacks, whites, Asians, Italians, whatever. This is me trying to stay faithful somewhat to the source material that you're using. And in my opinion, fucking up. My third question is, what should be done in the future? Now, I've just basically answered that. Stop it! Leave these films alone. You did them a bad service when you created sequels. The Jungle Book 2, for example, where Mowgli leaves the man village. What the fuck was that all about? Fuck off! The original book by Rudyard Kipling never had him fucking running back into the fucking jungle. Return to Neverland, Peter Pan 2. Captain Hook has survived. How? The fucking crocodile was fucking chasing after the bastard. It was Wendy's daughter. You're right. That could be thought of as, you're right. She had a kid. The kid grew up to be a friend of Peter Pan. Not a bad idea, but don't shit on legendary stories. The Jungle Book was one of the greatest films ever made. Not just animated films. The fucking music was awesome. I want to be like you, ooh, ooh, Scoopity. And Bare Necessities, what a song that is. But like I say, you're shitting on this legacy just because you need to make a few quid. Join up with Pixar. Join up with other content creators. Now, the sad thing is, I can't write music. I've got an idea for a Disney movie, animated or otherwise, about a princess that can't sing. Think about that for a second. Every one of these Disney prince and princesses, kings and queens, heroes and heroines, they can all sing perfectly. But what about that one little girl, that one princess that can't fucking sing? That's got money printed all over it. But because I can't write music, I can't send this fucking thing off to Disney and say, here's a good idea for a story. And it's an original story as well. That's in my head. But I can't do anything about it because I can't write music. But anyway, that's it. About it for this edition of the Moaning Show. I thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Click the little bell underneath the video to stay tuned for more content from this channel. Like I say, let's get this channel a bit more active. Let's get more people watching. Share it with your friends. Click the comments box. Type something in the comments box like piece of shit video. Great video. I agree. I can make contact with someone who can write music for you. You know what I mean? Because I can write lyrics that come out my head. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time for more moaning, bitching and complaining.